Okay, so we are going to talk about slope. So in the middle of your paper, you are going to write slope, kind of like we did for linear functions.
Oh, so we're not doing this.
Not yet, no. We're going to start with this and then we'll go on to the purple foldable. So there are different things that we need to know about slope. This is supposed to be a review because you learned a lot of this last year, but we're going to see it a lot this year. A lot of your EOC for algebra deals with slope and equations, so you've got to know how to represent it, okay? So the first thing for slope, the letter that we use to represent slope is M.
Oh.
And slope is what measures the steepness of a line. Steepness of line. Because we're dealing, slope is just with linear functions. Okay, also, slope can be found from a table by doing change of y over change in x. So just to remember, the triangle means change. It means you subtract your y's, subtract your x's. This is a Greek symbol, which is called delta. Delta is the name of that symbol. You can find slope from points. We are going to use the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you can always use this with 2 points. This is where we have 2 points, x1, comma, y1, and x2, comma, y2. So whenever you have 2 points, you'll plug in the points into this formula to find your slope. Okay, from a graph, you will count, rise, and put it over run. Count on a graph. Okay, and then the last thing, slope is considered the rate of change. Okay, also dealing with slopes is a formula for the slope and the intercept. This is the one that you'll see most often. It's y equals mx plus we're going to use this one today. There's different ways to represent it, but today we're going to deal with just y equals mx plus b.
That's how we learned it.
That's how you learned it? Okay, good. So this is a good review since you've already learned it with y equals mx plus b. So m is your slope. So you'll have to find slope in one of those ways that we talked about. Does anybody remember what b stands for?
The y-intercept.
Bonus.
Y-intercept. So whenever you're dealing with like a word problem and maybe you get $10 an hour plus something like a bonus, bonus would be a good way to represent it. But whenever you're dealing with a graph, this is your slope, this is your y-intercept. So y-intercept is where it crosses on the y-axis.